Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today I am happy to bring to you the first installment of the Wayne Sharp World Knife of the Year Awards for 2021. Now, the structure of this year's Knife of the Year Awards is going to be pretty much the exact same as last year. I have 5 categories, ranging from 50-ish and under, 50-ish to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 250, and 250 plus. The only difference this year is instead of packing everything into 1 hour plus long video, that's really hard to do. Reviewing and discussing knives for an hour straight with no interaction and just banging out one after the other, it can be a little monotonous even for me. So I thought it would be better for everyone and maybe a little more easy to make the time management work for everyone in your busy lives, especially around the holidays, to break this up into different videos, installments. So we're going to have 5 installments. Each video is going to cover 1 price category, and it's going to be bang, 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 day after day. So Monday through Friday, actually Monday through Saturday, you're going to have a video for Knife of the Year from Wayne Sharp World all week to hopefully keep you guys entertained. Obviously, we're going to go in order, and on Saturday, there will be a showdown between all of the champions from each category to find the official single one Knife of the Year for 2021. So, hope that makes sense for you guys. I hope you like this layout. Let me know what you think of this idea. I personally thought it was great, but of course, I want to know what you think. Before I dive into this first category, I want to thank Mojave Outdoor, White Mountain Knives, and DLT Trading. Some of them have come on this year. I think DLT was with me last year. It's been a long, crazy year, but also a ridiculously fast year. I don't remember, to be honest. But all 3 of these retailers here are some of the best out there. They support this channel immensely. I immensely appreciate that and cannot thank them enough. And I would really appreciate it if you guys do your best to give these 3 your business. Use Wayne's World as the code for 10% off at Mojave Outdoor. And obviously you can see WSW10 for White Mountain Knives, 10% off there. And DLT Trading, I don't have a 10% off code, but they're still absolutely worth sending your money their way because they have a great selection, great customer service. And all 3 of these retailers are some of the best at shipping your product out and getting it to you in a very timely manner. Not a lot of retailers can say that. So there's these 3. Thank you guys all so much for your support of my channel. Now, with that being said, let's get into the first category, which is 50-ish and under. Now, a lot of people are saying 50-ish, you're kind of bending the rules. Well, the problem, and it's not a problem, it's actually an amazing, great thing. There was so many good knives, really under $100. There was no way I could just do 100 and under. My goal in this video is to bring you guys a variety, more than just, 1 or 2 knives. I want to show you everything this year that I liked, but I can only have a top 3. So I had to break that 100 into 2 categories, and then there was some knives that were really right on that borderline of, 50-ish, that $52, $53, and there was so many great knives between 50-ish and 100. I thought, you know what? We're going to add the ish, and we're going to roll that way. So 50-ish and under, and 50-ish can go up to, $58. I think I have one at $58 here, but I kind of made it, a judgment call for me on where I thought a knife would fit better in the 50-ish and under or 50-ish to 100. Obviously, you know how I separated that. But you'll see as we go along how I figured this out. But I think you guys are going to really enjoy this list. And before we get into the top 3, we're going to get into some honorable mentions. Now, I also want to let you guys know that these knives, I'm going to link as many as possible below. Some will be Amazon links, some will be White Mountain links, one will actually be a Blade HQ link because I don't really have a choice. So there's going to be, to the best of my ability, every one of these knives linked below for you to purchase. So there's that. Now, let's get into it. Let's start off with our first honorable mention, and that is none other than the CRKT Pilar 3. Now, I was a little torn on this, and in all honesty, this knife, it sat in my top 3 for just a little time in the beginning of the year. I don't consider myself the biggest CRKT fan, but I'm a huge Vox fan. I'm a huge Pilar fan, and this may very well be the best Pilar yet in the series. because of the size, the ergos. All the Pilars have great ergos, but this blade, this one really won it for me. Now, it's a D2 steel blade. That took a couple points off, especially this guy's coming in at around $52, $51.95 to be exact. Obviously, this pricing is going to vary, guys. Some of this stuff may be on sale, too. So the price that I list here, definitely check the link, because the link, it might be on sale on the link, and things change, and it's impossible for me to be completely up to date on pricing. But originally priced at $51.95. Action on this guy, probably, I think this is probably the best action I've ever experienced on a CRKT. It middle finger flicks like a dream. It really does. When I say dream, I don't mean to call it like the best ever, but for a CRKT, it is absolutely the best ever. Very smooth, and in all honesty, would hold its ground with some Kaisers and CIVIVIs when it comes to middle finger flicking, depending on what you look for in the feel and action of a middle finger flick. But you just have those Vox ergos, the Vox design language, and you have that CRKT edge. And I gotta say, I've said this before, CRKT does a very good job putting a sharp edge on their knives. They may not be the thinnest, but they are just relatively slicey and very, very great cutting edges. So never really had an issue with the CRKT edge. I like this deep carry clip with it's fully recessed with recessed screws. It's just a very well done job. A lot of Vox designs will have that big lanyard hole at the back, which I can't say I love that, but it's there. And you know what? The way they put it in there, they didn't just drill a hole. They kind of put it in the backspace, or it looks a little better than just popping a hole in the back through the G10 and everything. And I like that, I believe it's brass accent there for the backspacer. Very nice. And overall, just a very good feel in hand. A knife that I may be holding on to. I'm not sure. I will be unloading a decent amount of knives after all these reviews, because I have a lot of stinking knives. I'm still deciding on whether or not I want to keep this long term. But it is a great EDC knife, and one that is just fun to fidget with, very smooth, and it just looks really, really good. I hope CRKT continues to work with Vox. I just hope they upgrade their steel. Come on, guys. 14C28N, that's all I'm asking for in a budget knife. 14C28N, and take my money with a design like this. This is fantastic. This is the CRKT Pilar 3 as an honorable mention. And next up, we have a one that hit the channel somewhat recently. This is the Kuby Ku 331. Now, this guy has D2 steel, and it's coming in at $58. So this was really the threshold. I didn't really want to put this one in the 50-ish and under. I kind of wanted to keep it at 55. But the 50-ish to 100 category is loaded. It was an excellent year for that category, so I shoved it in this one as an honorable mention. And it is just really good. The action is fantastic. Shakes shut very smoothly. Front flipping action is great. This blade, I love the width of this blade with this thin edge. I believe this was coming down to like 18 thousandths if I remember right. So a very nice job on the grind. You have a nice working tip that's pretty slicey and not too dainty with that D2 steel. It's going to be good enough to do some good work with. A not recessed clip, but recessed screws. And even though that looks a little narrow, I didn't have a huge issue putting it in my pocket. If you have thick hems, it will get caught up a little, but you kind of just shove it in and it works. But that's really the biggest flaw on this knife, and in my opinion, it's a very acceptable flaw. It's one of the things. It's one of the things that won't make or break a decision on me buying a knife. There are some things that absolutely would do that, like blade play or just noticeable flaws all over the place. But when it comes to something like this, it's going to easily fit in slacks. It's going to easily fit into some jeans, any type of athletic shorts it's going to fit in. Not necessarily the lightest knife in the world, so I don't know if you'd want to carry it in athletic shorts. But it's one that, it's a very iffy one for me. But it's one that, especially for a knife like this, where I really do love the design and the ergos of it, I kind of let it go. So again, that's more of a personal thing. Some people would be like, no, 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 not for me. And I get that, but for me, this one is just really good. And the action, and of course, what really wins it for me is that right there. That middle finger flicking action is very, very good. very smooth, and just a really good everyday heavy user knife. This is a knife that I think could take a good amount of beating. It's very strong. There's no flex in the handle whatsoever. Good lockup on the liner lock, and just a very nice knife. And I also am just going to announce right now, this knife has also been upgraded to my giveaway for my 10,000 subscribers when I hit it. I'm expecting to hit that in like late February. So you're going to have a chance to win this KU 331. And I think it'll be enjoyed by whoever gets it. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button to help get me to that 10,000 subs so I can give away some knives. We are at 5 knives right now, ranging anywhere from, I think, $60 up to 150. So we got some really good knives up for grabs there. And this is going to be one of them, the Kuby Ku 331. Next up, we have our first CIVIVI in the series, and that is the CIVIVI Riffle. Now, this one, the Riffle was in the top 3 for quite a while, but it did get unseated by just 3 knives that were better than this. But I tell you what, there's still so much to love about this knife. Coming in at $55.25 with 14C28N. That is what I want to see on almost every budget knife I get. If not, I would not complain about ever seeing 14C28N on a knife. You know, under $100, but especially, you know, $70 and under. 14C28N is a home run choice for me. And right now, I think this is on sale for less than $55. This one might be coming in just south of $50. It might be coming in at $48 on certain sites. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know there's been some markdowns to CIVIVI's, so might want to be checking that out. But overall, it's a unique design when you combine the blade and handle. At first, I wasn't sure if it was my cup of tea, but once I got this, flipped the blade out, put it in hand, I thought, you know what? Yeah, it is for me, because it just feels so good in hand. A handle that fills your hand very well. This is a knife that is going to be good for someone with wide or maybe thick hands. And even people with small hands. It's not too big to where I don't think you'd like it. I think a lot of people enjoy this. I think that the Riffle was universally kind of loved by just about everyone in the knife community. If you didn't like the Riffle, let me know, but I heard nothing but good things about the Riffle from a lot of people. Still see it in a lot of people's carry rotation to this day. And for good reason, it is that good of a knife. It's a very slicey edge with a high flat grind towards the front half of the blade. Extremely slicey tip. That's kind of a laser beam tip there. So definitely great for slicing. Not so good for any type of utility, you know, digging or whatnot you might do with the tips of your knives. But overall, it's just got that great CIVIVI quality, and this is also a very, very fidgety knife with excellent middle finger flicking action as well as flipping action, and everything on it's pretty good. The clip kind of is what it is, but for this knife, the way the handle is set and designed, the clip actually doesn't feel that bad. Not nearly as bad as some other CIVIVIs with smaller handles that can really annoy me. So this is definitely one worth checking out if you're a CIVIVI fan or you like that nice 3.5-inch size blade. Definitely an option worth considering, the CIVIVI Riffle. Now we're into our top 3. We had 3 honorable mentions, and we're going into our top 3. And we're going to kick the top 3 off with a knife that I think was massively underrated this year. And I emphasize massively because I barely saw anything of it. I bought one, raved about it, and I didn't see a whole lot of it anywhere else. And that is a Blade HQ exclusive, real steel G5 Metamorph Tonto. Now, why is this knife so great? Well, first, let's start with the price and blade steel. Blade steel on this guy, boom, 14C28N, and price. When I bought this, when it first came out, $39.99. That is fantastic. That's one of the best exclusive I've ever seen based off blade steel and price alone. Then you factor in the action, and the action is killer. It reminds me of a honey badger. It really does. It reminds me of the action of a honey badger, and I know just about everybody likes the action on a honey badger. Snappy, smooth. It kind of has a dull thwack, kind of sounds like it's getting like shot out of a cannon or something, but muffled. It's hard to describe. One you need to experience. It's actually kind of fun to just fidget with as a flipper, as a sole flipper and nothing else. It's just a great, great action and a great blade with a hollow grind. It's not the thinnest hollow grind in the world. I don't remember. You'll have to watch my review of this. Look up the review, but I want to say it was coming in. It kind of feels like it's over 20 thousandths. I would probably say 20 to 21, maybe 22 thousandths. But still, it's a hollow grind. It has a very nice tip. And it's just a great blade. One that I think could probably be okay in an office setting. I know Tantos, people kind of think of them as tactical and aggressive, but when you add that slender design to it, and it kind of has average thickness and handle, it just feels great in hand. It's a good little letter opener. I love this knife. I struggled to put it at number 3, but the two in front of it were just absolute home runs. This was a home run too. But the other two were just slightly better, but not to take anything away from this. Last I knew, this was still in stock at Blade HQ. It'll be linked below. And there's a blacked out option too, where they got a fully black coated blade with a black handle, which is pretty sweet. And that may fit more into like the tactical area with obviously the Tanto and whatnot. But this is just an excellent offering that I don't think got nearly enough attention. The Real Steel G5 Metamorph Tanto from Blade HQ coming in at number 3. Now, number 2. I tell you what, this battle between number 1 and number 2 was fierce. It was fierce, but in the end, I was comfortable with the decision. Coming in at number 2, we have the QSP Hawk. Now, this was a version, came out pretty early in the year. There may have been a premium version out the year before, but this was the budget version, and I liked it so much, I did consider this to be new, because you're talking from like a $120 knife down to a knife that is $54.98 for this model right here. With 14C28N steel, that's a theme, guys. You're going to be seeing that, because I really do highly desire that steel in any budget knife, and again, it's the best option in my opinion. So 14C28N steel, $54.98, and the best burlap micarta I've ever seen on a budget knife. This is fantastic micarta. It looks amazing. It feels amazing. It's got that tackiness. Yeah, look at that detail. It's just so good. I love seeing the weave in the burlap. It reminds me of just that very old school kind of look and feel. It just works great with the knife. And this blade is super slicey, an excellent EDC blade, and it's topped off with phenomenal action. This knife is a fidget beast. The detent is just right. The thumb studs are perfect. The flipper is good. The flipper works just fine. I find this to be slightly aggressive on my index finger, but you know what? It's still number 2 because it's that good. That's probably my biggest issue with this knife. I don't really like the satin clip either, but I do like the clip. The clip in general is very good, and surprisingly no hot spot there. Usually I would feel that clip a lot more. I do feel it a little, but not enough to really dig in and give me any type of, you know, real annoyances. So this guy, just from the very day I got it, it's just a knife that you can fidget with all day fidget with. And you know what? When you actually have to use it, that blade will put in some very good work for you. Nice tip, nice grind. Yeah, that QSP has got to get down on that, because that happens too much, and that's really annoying. I look at some of the little details, and that drives me crazy. But the knife as a whole is an absolute home run and fantastic. Quite possibly the best QSP ever made. There's another one you guys may see tomorrow. Cannot confirm nor deny that, but you might see it that rivals this. But I really do love this knife. Price great, action's great, quality's great, design's great, everything is great. That's why it's number 2, the QSP Hawk. Now, number 1. I may have actually shot down the hype of number 1 for this video, because I have raved about it in the review and in other videos. I've called it the best knife ever made under $50, and I still stand by that. That is, you probably know it, the CIVIVI Brazen. There's really nothing negative to say about this knife. It is design-wise on point in every way for me. This blade is on point in every way for me, literally and figuratively. It's a thin, slicey blade with a nice high flat grind. It's got excellent thumb studs. It has a very, very comfortable grip in hand. No hot spot from the pocket clip. Although I'm to the point to where I think I would almost always prefer a flat milled clip on many handles, because it would disappear in this handle. This handle is nice and wide, also not too thick, which really minimizes the feel of that clip, but it's such a deep carry clip, and CIVIVI really did make this one a true deep carry. It almost disappears in the pocket. So very nice deepness of carry, at least on this guy. And it's wide enough to where it doesn't really feel like much in the pocket. You don't see it that much. Very, very nice EDC carry in pretty much every aspect of what you look for in an EDC. And then you add to the fact that you have that 14C 28N steel blade. That was the theme to today, guys. 14C 28N, and a price of, so originally this was $49.30, but I believe it's now come down even more through CIVIVI's sale prices. Don't quote me on that, but I could have swore I saw it at $43. As a matter of fact, I think on my CIVIVI list it was $43. I've been making so many videos lately, it's really hard to keep everything in order just in my memory here. But I believe it is coming in around $43. You'll look it up in the link below, you'll find it. But again, if there was one CIVIVI I could recommend to somebody, it would be this one. It's great flipping action. It's great thumb studs that allow you to middle finger flick it, or just do your regular thumb deployment. You can just do your regular slow roll, but the detent is so good on this. It's not the best knife to slow roll, but who would want to slow roll a knife like this that has such fantastic action? It's so smooth. Once you break that detent, the blade's flying out. Just an excellent knife. I've said this plenty of times, but I liked it so much, I bought it for all the groomsmen at my wedding. That's probably the biggest compliment I can give a knife, when I buy something for such a special occasion. It's just that good. That's why it's #1 on the Wayne Sharp World Knife of the Year Awards for 2021, the CIVIVI Brazen. And we'll get all these lined up here again for you guys to have one last look at. Let me know what you think. I gotta say, I've got so many knives here in this video. I don't think I missed one, but if I did, let me know what I missed, because maybe there's one I still need to check out. But regardless, here they are. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I can't wait to bring you the rest of these installments for a great, great year in the knife industry. And here you have it, your honorable mentions and your top 3 going 3, 2, 1. The CRKT Pilar 3, the Kuby Ku 331, the CIVIVI Riffle, the Blade HQ exclusive Real Steel G5 Metamorph Tonto, the QSP Hawk, and the CIVIVI Brazen. Drop point, gotta specify that drop point. I can't believe I forgot about that when I pointed it out, but CIVIVI drop point, if you get the Tonto, it's in D2 steel, and that's nah. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope to see you tomorrow for the next installment in the 50-ish to 100 category. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.